He came out of the water, and I don't know what happened, but he just like gushing blood, and he's like, I'm fine. And I was like,
did he
what?
need stitches or anything?
I actually should ask him and follow up. I have not asked that, but he was fine.
Like,
He
it's
just,
none of my business right now.
Oh my god. Hi, girlies. Hi, Bria.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Becca.
Hi, girlies.
We have a very special guest today because the timing of this, who knows, but this is our first time recording since Jenny's wedding. So we thought that we would come back with our fellow married girly, Becca, to give us a new perspective because Jenny had like a full-fledged traditional wedding. I had a Riverside County Clerk's Office wedding, and Becca did a destination wedding. So we have all different kinds of things happening here.
Yeah. So if you are like, I don't know what kind of wedding I want to have, we're giving you a nice course to pick from.
It's so true. Yeah. How do you guys know each other?
We met at a mutual friend's wedding in Palm Springs.
We met at the wedding, right?
In Kara's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where.
Well, I met your husband, Josh, before the wedding at VidCon, like the year before, I
that's
think.
right.
Yeah. And he is, what a lovely man.
Aww.
Yeah.
He's
like
the best.
I met him when he was single. And then when you came into the picture, I was like, wow, both of you are like great for each other. Like you are so sweet, lovely,
Thank you.
open to like making friends. He is like, he will talk to everybody and anybody.
I have also talked to him.
Yeah?
Like,
Yeah. They met at VidCon.
He could talk to a spoon for sure.
Yeah. And fun fact, I don't know if we should say this, but I love this, that his brother was on Shark Tank.
Yes. Shout out Nana Hats.
Yeah.
what is
Plug.
a Nana? Okay, wait, quickly. What's a Nana hat? I need to know.
So basically bananas, they, go brown and you put a Nana hat on your banana. Like, you know how at the grocery stores there's saran wrap on bananas? It helps them like last longer. So it traps this gas that is released.
Oh,
So he has these Nana hats that are cute little knitted hats that you put on a banana.
They're like little beanies for bananas.
Yeah, he has like
that is
little
such
animals.
a good idea.
Yeah, so he was on Shark Tank and he got a deal.
It went viral on
He got
TikTok.
a deal?
Yeah.
With who?
Lori and one other like guest shark.
I love Shark Tank.
I
It's
know.
You have to
anytime
watch.
I'm in a hotel, in an airport, and I just need something, it's Shark Tank every single time.
But Nana Hats went viral during like the pandemic. Because when was he on it?
He was on it, I would say like a year or two ago.
Yeah, like during
But I
the
think
pandemic.
he came up with the concept like 2020. So
wow, epic. 2020
Yeah.
was a tough year, but people at home came up with some good ass ideas.
yeah, we got Nana hats out of it. So
But yes, so shout out to the Adlers because all of them are so lovely. And now you're an Adler, right? You took the
I
last
am
name.
an Adler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the process of the name change. It's not an easy feat.
I haven't even started. I'm scared.
I
Did you do yours? No,
I
you had-
did change it, but in my mind, I'm like, do I really need to change it on everything, or can I just leave it on the license?
I don't know. Honestly, it's very confusing. It's
Really?
very confusing, and I worry. I'm just going to do all of it because I hear for like travel purposes, it could be weird. Like, I don't know about the license and the passport situation, but I do know if you book your travel, let's say you had a previous ticket with your maiden name, and it's now different on your license or different on your passport, then you're screwed. So for that reason, I was like, I'm just going to do it all.
Yeah.
But it's a process.
I was going to wait till it expires and then do it.
Yeah.
But I think if I change my license, like, I'm like, can I renew my license without my new last name? No, right? Because it's on the license. The marriage license, I don't know. But I feel like if you change one thing, then everything needs to change.
Yeah,
the
you
passport.
can't
Yeah,
do
I
it
would just do
half-assed.
it all.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
do it up.
Do you like your new last name?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm proud to be an Adler.
Oh.
And Lass is, I'm sad to let it go because there's no boys in my family. So we agreed that we'll pass it down at some point to one of
Nice.
our kids in the future. So
Oh, good. Okay.
Somehow.
Keeping it in there.
yeah.
You have two new last names.
Yeah, what did you do?
Yeah, I changed my full name to match his besides my first name. So my middle name and last name are his middle name and last name, but
cool.
his middle name is also his mother's maiden name.
Oh.
So I took like basically the names from both sides.
Did
of
you
this
have a
family.
middle name before that?
Yep, Marlena.
Oh.
Cut off. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Marlena.
Did we
Goodbye,
just
Marlena.
were we just ready for a
You are
I
rebrand?
don't
not a
care about my
Marlena.
name.
Okay.
I don't care. I mean, I don't know
Stuart?
why I wanted to change it. I just don't care about keeping Stewart, even though like I have sisters too, and the name is gonna not be passed on. But
Did you drop Lass?
Yeah.
Oh, you dropped
I
it.
dropped
so
it.
you kept your middle name.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a tough decision for me. I don't
Yeah.
know if you felt the same way, but
I pushed Levine to the middle because I can't let go.
yeah,
I
no,
feel
it was
like
harder.
You shouldn't let go of Levine.
I don't want to. It's such a great last name.
It
It's
is.
better than Gaidon, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, if that's your opinion.
Is that
I'm not going to say on the podcast. I know we have a lot of Gaidons watching. I'm not going to say my opinion on that. But I'm glad that you kept Levine.
My thing is like there's more cousins that we will talk to and like have a relationship with that have the last name Gaidon than like
I see.
Levine. And
Yeah.
there's so many Levines out there that I'm like, it will be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I have
Are
some
there?
thoughts on how to pass it down too. There
Oh,
are a
okay.
lot of Levines.
I know
Yeah, it's like
Levines.
Cohen.
Yeah,
really?
It's very popular.
Okay.
You
I only
know
know
it's
Avril spelled differently.
Adam
I guess an Adam Levine.
Levine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Work.
I don't know. It was harder than I thought though to get rid of my last name. I was like struggling with it for a while.
yeah.
I was like, this is sad. Like I'm excited to embark on this new name and like chapter, but it's also like you're kind of grieving the, you know, your identity before that. Not that I'm like
Definitely.
changed, but you know, it's your name.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of a weird thing.
We smoked Lowell Smokes, our fave. Being on the honeymoon, I had like a 3-4 week long tea break. It was crazy.
Yes.
just
This
felt
is the
so
first
much
time
better.
that Jenny and I have smoked in a long time. Like it's been like
You're
a month.
back.
It's been a month. But
It's been a long time, and I'm like, okay, here we go.
I know. How is this gonna work?
Yeah.
I feel
And
fine.
make sure to follow us at High Girlies on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
High Girlies Pod.
High Girlies Pod. Sorry. Wow. Rusty coming back. High
It's been a
Girlies
minute.
Pod, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and then we're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you can find a podcast, we're there. This episode of High Girlies is brought to you by the High Rewards app. Bria, what is the High Rewards app?
Well, it is the first universal cannabis-focused shopping rewards app, and it turns every dispensary purchase into an opportunity to earn real money. How does it work, though, Jenny?
Well, you got to download the High Rewards app, and then you start earning points with every dispensary purchase you make. You got to just upload your receipts from what you buy at the dispensary, and those points just rack up.
You can redeem your points for gift cards to your favorite stores like Amazon, Sephora, and even other dispensaries.
Use promo code HIGHGIRLIES, that's HIGHGIRLIES, and when you get your first 1,000 points after signing up with our promo code, you'll get $5 in your account.
Download the High Rewards app today.
And start earning your points.
Period.
Yay.
Now, what's really going on?
Well, we all got married in different ways, so I think it'd be interesting to hear, like, from your perspective, why you picked a destination wedding and why, like, that's the best way to go.
Yeah.
Sell us the destination.
I mean, it's such a personal preference. Like, everyone's different. Josh and I are actually from the same hometown, and I had always dreamt of getting married in my hometown, but we got engaged there. Like, I had my bridal shower there. So I was kind of like, maybe we do something a little different. And Cabo, which is where I got married, is a very special place for my family. We go there at least once a year as a family since I was younger. So many memories there. I've been there with the Adlers a couple times. So that felt like it would be a very fun, special place for both of our families. And it just felt right. Wasn't like an easy decision because I think there's challenges with any wedding wherever you have it and however you do it. But yeah, having an abroad wedding was not the easiest, but I would say it was very rewarding and I don't regret it at all.
Do you feel like you had to deal with less people, like worrying about less people coming? Does that make sense? Like you didn't have to deal with as many people as like you would if you had it in your hometown.
how many people were at your wedding?
We had 125.
Okay.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, it was not a small wedding, but like it felt small. Because when you divide it between both parties, you're really only getting like 60 people. And then you divide that in half because people are married or whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's really like 30.
Yeah. Like, do you feel like you got
Couples.
to talk to everyone you wanted to talk to?
I do, because we had a few nights there, and people were trickling in all 3 nights. So I felt like I had some time before like the big day to like really say hi. And then on the wedding night, I was like, all right, I'm gonna be selfish and be with my friends on the dance floor and like not feel like I have to speak or say hi to every single person all over again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because that's like I feel like a regular fixture in most weddings. It's like, while everyone's eating, the bride and groom are not eating and are going around to each and every table. Like, I remember Claire did that at her wedding.
We did that.
You did that at your wedding, yeah.
Yeah, and then they got like mad at us that we didn't eat dinner. Not mad, but they were just like, "You guys need to eat now." And I was just like, I'm not even hungry. Like, I didn't.
you were probably on such a high that
Such a high. It was also so hot. It was 100 degrees at the Palisades on the beach. Like,
Yeah.
I've never seen that ever in my life.
It
But
was a heat wave.
yeah, and I just wasn't hungry. I was thirsty, but I couldn't even get drunk.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I've heard people say that too. It's like that adrenaline, like, you just don't feel drunk. I drank a lot, but I didn't, and I get drunk.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Which I guess is probably a good thing. Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to be like blackout.
No,
Ideally,
at your
at your own wedding.
Yeah.
Like, you spend all this money and time, and then you're like, wait, what happened?
Yeah. I know. Did you feel like you like got to eat dinner and like drink?
I did, actually. I couldn't eat much either. Like, I wasn't starving, but I did like force myself to sit down, and like we had speeches going on throughout the dinner. So there was like some downtime. And like I said, like I felt like I had said hi to everyone, so we didn't really get up, and like some people came up to us, which was great. But yeah, it actually worked out pretty nice with the food situation.
Oh, that's great.
But I didn't eat a lot either. I was just like, you're not really hungry that whole week. At least I wasn't.
Yeah.
But I know myself, like if I don't eat at the right times and have enough protein, like I will crash and will be bad. So I was like
yeah.
forcing myself just to like get something in me.
Yeah. How long did you guys go till?
11.
Oh, okay.
What about you?
Well, we had it till 12, and we had like In-N-Out come for the late night snack.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I was like, that's what I was going to eat for dinner. But then other things occurred. Like
What?
some chocolates may or may not have been shoved into my mouth on the dance floor at one point. So there
Not
were
hungry after chocolates.
no. So
Yeah.
but then we had everyone come back to our Airbnb, so we rented like a house on the beach in Malibu.
So
And
fun.
We invited people to come back and have like an after party. So my matron of honor ordered pizza, and that was like my dinner basically.
Perfect.
It
How
was
long
great.
did the after party go till?
We went to bed at like 5 a.m.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, it was great though. So
I mean, that sounds perfect.
yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
And with all your favorite people, like it's hard to just say.
Yeah, all your friends from Colorado being there.
yeah, and I feel like too, like you really kind of like know who your people are, like who really ride or die for you or show up for you. And like for me, like my love language is like quality time. So getting quality time with people that I like, even
Preach.
like you, like I see you all the time, but like you're in my like love bubble, like our love bubble of a weekend wedding. And like those people who were there, like at the farewell fiesta, those people will always be like, that's like my best memory of my wedding. Is just like being in the ocean with all of my friends from all different walks of life, and
So
like
fun.
seeing them hang out. And
That's what's
So
different
rare.
too. Like
Yeah.
you and I see each other all the time, but I never hang out with you and your other friends.
yeah,
It was like the first time that I met a lot of them.
yeah. And
So
so
it's
that
different.
It's
it
really
like almost
special.
makes me want to cry. It was like
Aw.
so special. Yeah. And like shout out to like my Colorado people, my Colorado boys. Like I never get to see them, and they were bonding. One of
I
them
love
cracked their
that.
head open though on a rock. That was really bad.
Oh.
He, of course he would though. I love him, Teddy. He came out of the water, and I don't know what happened, but he just like gushing blood, and he's like, I'm fine. And I was like,
Did he
what?
need stitches or anything?
I actually should ask him and follow up. I have not asked that, but he was fine.
It's none of my business right now.
I think actually no, I don't think it was a rock. It was rug burn on the sand.
Oh my gosh.
Because he was bodyboarding, and so he hit the sand, and he like skid.
He got rolled.
He got rolled.
He got rolled.
He got rolled.
He got rolled. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so what are some things that you wish you knew before like picking the destination planning process?
I would say expect to go visit the place at least once, because it's really hard to not be there in person, like at all. Like, I mean, and also just to factor in a wedding planner if you can, because I mean, shout out to Amy Abbott Company. That was my wedding planner, Claudia and Dalila. They were amazing. But, you know, some people will have like someone from a hotel helping them, but we just didn't feel like confident since it was in Mexico. Like we just weren't familiar enough with like the different venue options and vendor options and things like that. So having a wedding planner was super helpful.
Yeah.
And it's pricey, but we didn't regret like budgeting that.
Yeah. What do you feel like was helpful going there and seeing it?
We went once, but my parents were coincidentally there as well, like a separate time. So they kind of helped us even like interview some wedding planners, because they were able to just like meet them in person. And some people it's like hard to get in touch with, like over email, you just never know. So having that face-to-face time, even with the people that are like at your venue or at the restaurant or wherever it may be, is super helpful, because they know like you're legit, like you're coming here to get married and like you're serious about it. So that was super helpful. But also just going to the vendors and like being able to see everything, like instead of just like screenshots. I don't know, for me, I'm like a very visual person, so like it was helpful for me to be like, oh, like these are the lanterns that we're telling you guys about, and like getting to see everything. Also, hair and makeup trial. We didn't want to bring someone to Mexico. Like we chose someone locally. So having, you know, someone practice like was super helpful.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's something I didn't even think about. Like you're bringing everything to this destination, and everyone, if you choose to do that
Right.
you need. Like I'm even thinking, how did you bring your dress?
I was
plane?
actually thinking about you and your dress going to Cabo when I got my dress back. Because my dress weighed so much.
Yeah, it wasn't easy, because I had like 3 dresses that I had to bring for the different events. But when I got on the plane, I was just like, I'm a bride. Please help. like, because they have, you know, hanging racks in the front. And she actually was like, sorry, no, there's no room. I was like, okay. So I ended up just putting it above the seat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I did have it in like a case, like with a zipper.
For sure, yeah.
So it was fine. And I was going to get it steamed when I got to the
Yeah.
hotel. So all worked out. But then they, on the plane, shouted out another bride and like didn't shout me out.
Oh,
I
my
was
So
like,
not
God.
only can I not hang my dress up, now you're getting this
Whoa.
bitch
I
all
was
the
like,
attention.
what does she have against me?
That was
That's
rude.
crazy.
Whatever.
Were you like, what class did you fly? Not that should make a difference, but
I think we were in first on the way there.
okay. So
think.
what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, whatever. It's fine.
Bitchy flight attendant.
That's crazy.
Speaking of bitches, do you feel like you had any Bridezilla like classic moments? I want to know from both of you too.
And you.
Yeah.
I got my dress from Revolve like a week and a half before. I didn't give a shit.
I was so, every time I would talk about my wedding to Bria, I would look at her and be like, man, you must really feel like you made the right decision. Every time.
You had to think about so many things,
Yeah,
and I can't
lot.
even imagine like keeping track of flowers, food,
Oh my gosh.
tablecloths, people coming, like what's going on at the venue the day of. What does this look
Yeah.
like? It's a lot.
I don't feel like I had any Bridezilla moments, but you could tell me. Do you feel like you did?
I mean, I think I kept my cool. I'm kind of like a person when I'm stressed. You don't necessarily know it. I'm more just like quiet.
Yeah.
But I had my moments for sure. I almost had one moment, but I kept my cool on the day of, actually. I was finally in my dress, like had my hair and makeup done. And the makeup artist, who was great, but she was touching me up right before I was about to have my first look with Josh. And she opened up the tube of lip gloss. It was pink. And you know that sound that like pops when you open it?
This is
And I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I see a glob of lip gloss like fly in my direction. And I was like, where did that land? And I'm like looking for it. I'm just like deep breathing, landed right on my torso. And I was like, and I didn't want to make her feel bad. It was like a total accident, you know? But
no, she should have been opening that slowly and methodically. Like,
I know. I think it was a lesson learned.
What'd you do?
I was just like, oh, okay. What should I do? Like, because they didn't want to blot it too much and then like stain the dress.
It's also sticky.
So luckily my mom is just great. And she was just like, Becca, you can't see it. Like, because I had ruching on my dress right here. So she folded it over. You couldn't see it. It was fine. But like in that moment, I was like, come on. Like,
wow.
no, you made it so far. And then the moment before.
Like before you walked down the aisle.
Yeah, literally right before.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It could have been so much worse though. Like these things sound so like silly. Like once you're talking about it, it's like, why was I so stressed about this one little thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
What was
hindsight
like
is
your
2020.
particular like little thing like that you were like, this needs to be right?
I didn't really think about anything, and now in hindsight, I wish I had.
You didn't. I feel like you were thinking about a lot of things. You were talking about the flowers and the aisle situation, and like there was a lot of things you were thinking about.
Yes. Okay. I guess the
She's like,
flowers.
She blocked it out.
Yeah, the flowers were for me probably the most stressed thing, and now in hindsight, I wish I had stressed about other things. It's like a whack-a-mole. You stress about one thing so hard, you focus on that, and then other shit just didn't go whatever. So it was all fine. This isn't my problem though. I just hyper analyze on the little things and can't let them go. But like the flowers, I was worried about them because I had made a full deck about my flower inspiration. In hindsight, I should have said like fucking Bridgerton, but then I don't even want to know maybe what it would have been like. But my like vision for my flowers was like a wild garden, not like crazy unkept wild. It's like a very small window of like, I want all the colors, but I don't want like super bright colors, and I don't want like muted like just blue and purple. I want it to be like this like experience. Like this is crazy talking about fucking flowers, but I was like, there's so many different like cool textures of flowers. Like I don't want to have all roses. So
Wow, you're good.
Yeah,
This is like
I'm
in
like,
the weeds.
yeah.
I really was
No
like,
pun intended.
I was like, if I would paint this, it would be like every flower is a different flower of a different color, but it all cohesively like works together. And I feel like to me, that is the most beautiful arrangement that I could possibly like dream of. And every time I would talk to our florist, she would be like, So what
was she following?
You have to acknowledge saying, I want every flower of every color together, but they have to look good together. That's a little confusing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a challenge.
It's crazy. And then you add Carol Levine into that mix, and then it's just really fucking confusing. And I think that's why our florist wasn't really like getting it at first, because she's trying to please both of us. Like at one point, my mom was like, the florist was like, do you want like tropical flowers? And my mom was like, yeah, tropical flowers. And I was like, no. It's not going to go with all the flowers that would work together. I'm like, think of like the moment that spring is about to turn into summer, but everything is fully in bloom. It's like that kind of like color hue. We're not in pastel spring, and we're not in like bright pink summer. We're right in that like middle ground. And my wedding planner would be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
This is very specific.
Yeah,
which
but
I love.
It's
but-
good. You had a vision.
Yes.
So I made a deck, and then I had like pictures and inspo, and I was like, literally just like copy this. Like, just copy what I'm showing you. And then when I walked down that aisle, I was like, oh my God, she nailed it. It looked everything, all the
That's
flowers.
awesome.
It was like perfectly how I wanted it. It was unique. I'd never seen anything like that. And it was like really cool. So
Love that for you.
that was
Worked
a
out.
win. However, there were other things that fell through the cracks.
Yeah, I mean, you have to decide what things you really care about and what things you really don't care about and what
Yeah.
things you want to spend the money on and what things you don't want to put the budget towards.
Yeah.
So like for you, it was flowers. For
Yeah.
me, it was more like the DJ, probably. I mean, I'm sure you cared about that too, but
I did.
I cared less about flowers because I know nothing about
not?
flowers.
I did.
Oh, you did.
I
Yeah.
did. Yeah. So what did you do with the DJ?
We created nothing crazy. We created like a Spotify playlist of every song that we like or would like to be played to kind of give the DJ the vibe. Didn't mean that he had to play every single one of those songs, which he actually didn't. I was also like, can I just have one Taylor Swift song, like at least? And he didn't play one Taylor Swift song. But
Did
I
you
realized
go up
that
to him and like tell him?
no, I realized after the fact because I was like having the time of my life. It was
Okay.
It was fine, but I was looking back like, wait a second.
Yeah.
But then we had a do not playlist, which I highly recommend doing because we were like, do not play Bruno Mars. Like we just did not want Bruno. Sorry,
Wow.
I don't know.
No, I'm
Or like
I'm
we were
laughing
very
because my
specific.
dad's literally only request. He was not involved at all. All he wanted was Saturday night we in the spot. Don't believe it, just watch.
Yeah.
What's that song?
Uptown Funk.
I just have heard it too many times.
He could not say anything else to me other than you must play Uptown Funk, and he had the time of his life. But I didn't have any. I couldn't think of like don't play this because I'm like
Okay.
just
Oh my God,
follow
there are so many.
follow
Yeah.
the 10-hour playlist that I made.
Like I only wanted Black Eyed Peas, like circa 2000. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like early 2000 Black
Yeah.
Eyed Peas. Like
In
not recent
hindsight,
Black Eyed Peas. Like,
there were
Yeah.
songs that were played that I was like, this was not on the playlist, and I do not want to hear this.
yeah.
But I was like, just don't play anything that's not on this 10-hour playlist.
Right.
You have so much to pick from.
So
Yeah.
yours was more of like, this is the inspiration. You can veer off of this, but don't do Bruno Mars.
Yes.
please.
Yes.
Did you have like a must play list? Like, or a must play song? Like, these 10 songs I must hear.
No. We really didn't. It was more about like what artists we like, I feel
Okay.
like.
That was one thing that my DJ was like, your playlist is so long. I would recommend you give me a must play list. And
Okay.
then that 10 list turned into like a little bit too long of a list, like maybe 50.
You're like, we just don't want this night to end.
I was just like, I need to hear these 50 songs. He didn't play all of them. He also didn't have like the updated list, which was kind of annoying. I was like, it was updated in the Google Doc and like,
So many Google Docs.
yeah. But
You brought up a very interesting
What?
point that I need to get your opinion on. With your wedding, your mom and mother-in-law were very involved in the planning. Like you really took into account their opinions and all of that kind of stuff. What was it like with your mom and mother-in-law? Were they involved? Do you regret them not being involved or being involved? Like, what's your opinion?
I would say they were very different because Josh's family hosted the like Friday night rehearsal dinner. So that was like their Super Bowl. And then my parents obviously like the wedding night. I would say Josh's family more involved, my family less involved in the decisions. Like
wow.
they really were very like just chill, like whatever. Like they
Okay.
kind of just wanted to do what I wanted to do within
Right.
reason, like of the budget and all
Yeah.
of that. So whereas Josh's parents had more of a vision, which was beautiful. And I
Wow.
loved it, but yeah,
Like,
just
what
different.
were the things?
Just like the types of tablecloths down to
Oh,
like
wow.
specifics.
Okay, that's very
but I feel
specific.
like they're very good hosts. Like they're used to having
Big
and
things.
throwing parties, so they're just like social people. Like my parents aren't as social. So they were very like dialed into all of that. I mean, it was like a fine balance of
Okay.
Josh and I kind of going to them being like, hey, this is sort of what we're envisioning. Like, what do you think? And they were they would be like, well, maybe you should do this, this, and this. Like they actually had like some great ideas. Yeah, that was helpful.
What was like one of their good ideas that you feel like you got?
That's a good question. I feel like with the flowers, because we did more of like a colorful night on Friday and like more neutrals on Saturday. I had like a vision of like a very colorful Friday night, but we like cut down on the flowers on the table, like silly like little things like this. So because they were like, oh well, these tables are gonna be round, so like if you have like big bouquets, like you're not gonna be able to like see each other and like talk to one another as well. So we did like one simple vase, and that cut down on costs, like things like that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there was anything that you kind of had to bend more than you wanted to based on other people's opinions besides you and your husband?
I would say the guest list was probably the toughest thing, just because, as I mentioned, like 125 isn't small, but like when you divide it between two families and then you want your friends to come and then your parents want their family members or friends to come, like it's very limited. So that was, I think, a challenge with like both sets of parents, was kind of figuring out like, all right, this is who we really want to be there. So like, you're going to get this amount. We tried to make it even Steven. And I know for them, it was hard because they didn't have that many people that they could bring.
Yeah.
So
like how many like friends were invited, do you think? And how many family and like their friends were invited?
I would say like for Josh's side, his parents invited a lot of family friends. My parents invited less friends, more cousins. So it was kind of different. Like I think the majority was our friends, Josh and I's. But they got to invite like I would say a decent amount, like 10 couples maybe.
Yeah.
Each.
That's what I was trying to have our parents do, like have 10 couple friends and then like family. And I don't know how to say this. I got pushback.
Yes.
Because I was told that we weren't telling them we were having a small wedding, which we wanted to have 150. And I also was trying to like get a full list. I listened to Mindy Weiss's masterclass on weddings before, and she was like, just make sure you have like a long list of who you would want to invite, and then you and your spouse or soon to be spouse decide on who you want at the wedding based off that long list. So I kept trying to get that long list from my mother-in-law, and she gave me like 10 people. Yeah. And I was just like, I know this is not like your full list. Yeah. And then when finally she gave it to me, she was like, yes, we're inviting all those people. And I was like, this is 60 friends. Like, we can't do that.
Yeah, no.
And she was like, well, how much does the venue hold? And I was like, well, they never told us like a limit. And she was like, well, I'll just pay for it. And then I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's fine. Like, if you're going to pay for it, my mom's okay with it. In hindsight, I feel like, we were at 230 people.
Okay. That's big.
It was really big. And if we didn't have all of those people, then we would have had 180. Okay. Half of the time on my dance floor, I don't know if you remember, I was like, where the fuck is everybody? Yeah. Like, it just felt not empty, but like not full. And I was like, oh, they're all outside. And a lot of old people left, like I knew they would. Yeah. And our friends were left. And I think in hindsight, in the moment, I was just like, I want a full dance floor. Like, I want to like club atmosphere. And now looking back, I'm like, I'm actually glad it wasn't like packed because it was really hot.
So hot, yeah.
And I got to like dance with everybody. Like, I got to go around and dance with everybody. And it was kind of like this one big thing. I don't know. What do you think? I'm being crazy of like being like, it wasn't full.
That was like one of the main reasons why I didn't want to have a wedding for myself, because I don't like dancing. I don't want to see that. I don't care for that. Yeah. Okay. So like, honestly, at your wedding, I wasn't really on there the whole time either.
Where were you?
I was outside. I was getting my burger,
Oh yeah.
My Diet Coke. And I was just chilling.
Did you get fries too?
No. There were no fries.
Yeah, no, there were fries that the club provided and little milkshakes.
Where were that?
In the courtyard.
Oh, okay, I missed that. I did get sushi though.
Sushi?
Yeah,
and
we
burgers?
had
What?
we had
I was literally by the time like 10:30 rolled around, I was like, I feel like I have a food baby this fucking
Really?
big. Yes, I had just been eating.
It was too much
Mendocino Farms. The dinner. There was also a dessert thing that I had.
we had
one
his and her
point.
desserts. So we had mine was a black and white cookie and
Oh my gosh, yum.
yeah, and his was hand pies.
And you guys had a cake.
And we had a cake that they didn't serve. Granted, it wasn't meant for everyone. It was small. We did like a little small heart-shaped
Yeah,
cake.
more for like the experience of cutting the
Yeah,
cake. and
like
the
we weren't going to
photos.
serve 230 people cake. It was
Yeah.
more the dessert wall.
But it was a good third option.
But like people wanted cake.
That
Yeah.
was the thing that Nico, working in the hospitality industry, I feel like he does this very well, is he will feed you at any time. Like at the rehearsal dinner the night before, I was like, do y'all have any tiramisu in the back? And he took me to the back and cut me a slice. At the wedding, Lizzie's like, Nico, where's the cake? And he was like, do you want me to cut you a slice? And she's like, no, like this is your wedding.
So cute.
He should have.
But he made sure that we were fed.
I mean, that's good because when you go to a wedding and you're like starving and feel like you didn't get any food that night, it's not
I would
the
rather have a
best
food
feeling.
baby for sure. I was living, but I
Yeah.
was like, I'm not going to dance right now.
Yeah, you're like, I'm gonna roll like off the dance floor.
Yeah. I want to talk about the wedding blues
Mm-hmm.
because when we were talking about filming this episode, you were saying this was like maybe a couple weeks after your wedding.
Yeah, I think so.
You had just gotten back from your honeymoon.
Yes.
And you had the wedding blues. Can you like talk about like what that is, what that feels like,
Yeah.
and like
I think we
what
gotta
you did.
normalize the wedding blues because like they're definitely real. Like, I think you're just on such a high for that period of time that you've planned so far out for. Like, so much goes into it. There's so much pressure of just trying to make yourself like feel good, look good, all the things, and it's just a lot. And then you have like the best couple weeks of your life, you know, at the wedding or the honeymoon, and then you just have to go back to the office, and it's like, oh, right, this is what normal was. Like,
yeah.
so I definitely was feeling that adjustment, I guess. I was like, okay, it's okay. Like, it took me a little bit of time to just be like back in my groove and, you know, kind of just come off of that high, I guess.
Especially when you spend so long planning it, I feel like it dominates your life. And then afterwards, you're like, what the fuck do I do now?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like, now what?
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to make like wedding invites because I'm like, I want to like,
For real?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Like you're designing wedding invitations? Wow.
yeah.
That's really cool.
At _letters, bubble letters.
Wow. Is it like calligraphy?
It could be anything you want. It could be calligraphy. It could be bubble letters. It could
That's
be.
so cute.
Yeah.
You're like keeping in the wedding.
That's cool.
vibes.
I like loved doing that as part of my wedding. Like, I had a person help design our invites, but that was like one of my favorite parts was like the designing
Really?
of that. So I'm like, why don't I just, that's such a creative outlet for me, like keep doing that. And
Yeah.
so I'm learning a lot about that. But
Like,
yes.
You helped like illustrate what you wanted.
Yeah, like
Wow.
I mean I kind of do that for work in a way. Like I'm
Oh.
mocking things up and then having a designer like do it.
Oh,
so
okay.
for me it was like easy because that's just what I do every day. I'm not an artist. Like I wasn't able to like draw my venue, but I kind of like had a vision of exactly like what I wanted. I'm good at like just words, I guess, and writing.
Yeah.
So for me it was fun, that part.
Wow. That's so
But-
great.
Anyways, yeah. Back to your question. It just you're like, what do? I have all this extra time. I
Yeah.
felt like I had 2 jobs and now I
Did
don't.
you feel like you were depressed? Like, were you really like that sad about it?
I wouldn't say I was depressed. Like, I was so happy with the wedding experience. Like, looking back, like I was just overjoyed with how it all went. And the honeymoon was amazing. So I wasn't like depressed. I was more just like, oh, that was so amazing. And now I have to go back to work.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, just now what? Like, I had this big thing to look forward to. But you got to just rewire your brain. There's always things to look forward to, you know?
Yeah.
That's just something that you think about like your whole life. Like ever since I was a little
Yeah.
girl, it's like your wedding. And it's like, oh my God, came and went, blink of an eye. Like,
Damn, when you put it
you know?
that way, like you're literally fantasizing about this like from the age of 5 or something.
yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
It's crazy. It's a crazy concept.
Yeah, and now it's done.
It's done in the
Yeah.
books.
In the books forever.
Yep.
That's why I guess I didn't have a true Bridezilla moment in my mind, but I wanted to save my bouquet, and
Cute.
I never. Oops, sorry, it's hitting me.
God.
I never told I told my wedding planner I wanted to save it, but we never ordered the thing to save it. I didn't realize, like, pro tip, if you want to save your bouquet, you have to order the box that you need to ship it in, like, before your wedding, so that, like, literally that night, your wedding planner puts the bouquet in the box and ships it off, like,
oh, wow. I didn't even know that was a thing.
that night. Yeah, so they put it in, like, a resin and save
Cute.
it. I didn't do that. And so also it was so fucking hot that, like, the flowers were dying. Like, I'm looking back at some of the pictures. They were dying, like, at the wedding. It was so hot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, what was your plan for the
My
bouquet?
plan was for me to get the bouquet back and give it to, it doesn't really make sense, but give it back to her and tell her, like, okay, now save it. Or, like, she told me, okay, we're good. Like, I'm shipping it off.
Okay, so she was supposed to have ordered.
I told her, like, I
This
want to,
thing.
because I said, do I have to throw the bouquet? And she said, no, people don't really do that anymore. I don't know if you did.
No, I didn't.
Also, there was,
but I
like,
wish I
3
did now.
single people at our wedding. So it was kind of like, I didn't want to, like, show, like, you know, I don't know. I feel like at our
Yeah.
age, it's kind of like,
A thing of the past a little bit.
yeah, like, if everyone was single or more people were single, I would have done it. But I was like, oh, okay, good, because I want to save my bouquet. And that was the end of that conversation. I didn't know I needed to be like, so you need to order this thing. Or she should have said, oh, you want to save your bouquet?
This is what you got to do.
Exactly. That's exactly what should have happened.
They did not like some of the things that didn't happen.
Got it.
Yeah. They were not happy. The bridesmaids were not happy.
Oh.
Yeah.
There was a
Interesting.
lot that we hid from Jenny
Yeah.
leading up
Yeah?
to and during the
Yeah.
wedding.
What, things like just going wrong or
Things going wrong, us not knowing what we were doing.
That was what-
my man and I that I was walking down the aisle with, we fucking winged it. He wasn't at the rehearsal, so, like, he didn't even know. And then I hadn't really practiced at the rehearsal,
Yeah.
so I was like, I know what side I'm supposed to be on.
You
I
walked
feel like
down with
everyone
Spencer,
wings
right?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was fine.
Yeah, no, it all worked out. It was just leading up to it, there were a lot of things. There was, like, a bridesmaid that spilled something majorly on her dress.
Coffee. Right?
No, it was a, like, Fenty lip gloss. It was a lip gloss
No.
that had.
Oh my god.
Oh,
the curse
that's
of
what
the
it
lip
was?
gloss.
And we completely, like, hid that from you until it was fixed.
Yeah. But, like, you guys fixed it, not
Yeah,
the
as long
wedding
as
planner.
you didn't know.
Yeah, no, we fixed it. Or,
Yeah.
yeah, the person who it spilled on literally got an Uber to the dry
At
cleaners
6
like
in the
six-
morning.
6 in
No.
the
But she
morning.
told you the night before.
I noticed it as we were leaving your rehearsal dinner, and I was like, "Girl, what is that?" And she was like,
Oh, she didn't even
and the
know.
more she unfolded it, the bigger.
Oh.
This is his niece. His niece.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It
It worked
itself
out, but it's just funny.
But
There was, like,
it
so
all
much
works
stuff.
I was
out.
gonna
Yeah.
say I cried the next day at the farewell fiesta when they were like, "We're sorry, it's too late to save your bouquet. They're just gonna die." And I spent so much time on
The
this
flowers.
the
were your
flowers.
thing. Yeah.
that
I
I
that's definitely
I
worth
went
crying
upstairs and started crying.
Aw.
And I was just like, I can't believe I can't save my flowers. It's all getting worked out because apparently my florist is gonna. She's never done it before, so she's gonna, like, experiment and try for us, and we just have to pay for the frame.
Yeah, maybe you could do like an anniversary bouquet that you get framed.
Yeah.
Like it'll be fine.
Yeah.
How about you? You both. Like, what was that experience like for you?
I was just excited to see the photos, and it was like our wedding was 10 people in Palm Springs having brunch, going to the courthouse, taking pics, and like having a nice dinner and just like having a
awesome.
pool day at like his uncle's house the next day.
It's like
it was
so special.
Yeah,
and
it was like
intimate.
small. No one was there that I didn't like. And it was like there was no stress or anything, and like the planning was so minimal, and everyone was just doing it for me basically. The only thing I had to figure out was what I was wearing pretty much.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel stressed about it, and then I didn't feel like, oh, now that it's over, like what do I do with my life? Because
Right.
I didn't really put that much effort into it to begin with.
Yeah.
Pros and cons.
Yeah.
I
think,
cared like so much less about the wedding than like actually just like being married. I was just like, I'm married, yay. Not like I'm getting a wedding, yay. I never
Right.
thought about my wedding when I was a kid.
Yeah, everyone's
Never.
different.
Nope.
I feel like you picked the wedding that like worked for you. And also, I don't feel like anyone pressured you to like have a wedding, did they?
No.
Yeah. Which is actually interesting because I feel like some parents are like, you're going to do this. Like, we need to like have a bigger wedding. Like, you know, we need to invite all these people. All these people need to be there. That's great that they supported you on that.
And
Yeah.
it's your wedding. Like at the end of the day, it's
Yeah.
like what you want. Like it's
Yeah.
no one else's day. It's your
Exactly.
day.
Yeah.
So
I
you have
wish
to do what's best for you.
the advice I have after my wedding, and I loved my wedding. It was great. It was over the top. It was like everything that I had like dreamt. It was my dream wedding. I think that in hindsight, knowing my mental capacity for things and how much I kind of like put too much pressure on myself to make sure everything goes to plan, I wouldn't have had that many details, and I wouldn't have probably invited that many people because there's less room for things to go wrong when you have more clear things to focus on. There was just a lot.
Right.
I feel like I should have listened to my gut more about knowing myself and knowing what I can handle and being more Bridezilla. Like I feel like I was so chill, but I would like let things happen and then it would bother me versus being proactive and being like, this is not going to bother me and I'm going to deal with it head on first. And I feel like you were really, at least from what I've heard, you were really
thanks.
good about that.
I mean, I kind of learned you have to just pick and choose your battles. Like
Yeah.
when you have two families involved, there's always going to be a lot of opinions floating around.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to have different expectations and like wants and needs. And at the end of the day, you got to just protect your own peace and do what's best for you and your spouse. Like I said, it's your day. Like it's no one else's. So also like I'm a people pleaser. So like I'm trying to like make everyone happy and all the things, but I had to remind myself throughout the process, like not everyone's going to be 100% happy with every little decision I make. So maybe share less. Like I didn't share everything with everyone. And yeah, just like don't stress about so many little things, which is so easier said than done, but like it all works out.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but did you have any like tension with friends or anything like leading up like that? I don't know if we want to discuss this.
No,
but
it's okay. She's laughing because my like best friend from high school, my maid of honor, like we are no longer friends because
Sorry.
it's okay. It's actually like a lot better for me. I think a lot of people throughout the last couple months, it happened in February, I think. Like a lot of people have said like you are just so much happier. I feel like you are less combative and you
Less
know,
stressed.
way less stress. I was really like, because she's someone who I know easily can be upset and pissed off about something and won't let it go, that it affects me. I was like trying to like proactively mitigate that, but then it's affecting me and my choices.
Yeah.
But,
yeah,
you
it's
know.
tough. I feel like weddings bring out the best and worst in people. Like I will say, like you really see who your true blue friends are throughout the process because they really just show up for you. I feel like, like I felt so much support and love from people that I am like, those are my girls. Like you just know, like, and you feel that genuine happiness from them, you know, which is so important. And the wedding process, I feel like just definitely brings that out.
Yeah.
It sure does. Even on the other side, as like a bridesmaid in your wedding, it's such a big commitment that like you need to be a real ass bitch. Like,
Yeah.
it's not for the weak, honestly.
And it's
not
expensive for
weak.
everyone.
Really? Yeah. Well, I feel like I tried to supplement as much as I possibly could because it is such a big ask of people and it's a big expense. And like, you know, I took people's entire weekends. They had to take 2 days off of work.
Yep.
So, but yeah, it's no joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you need to, like, if you're not a real ass friend, you need to say no,
Yeah, just don't come.
frankly,
Don't
because
need
it
those,
will ruin your friendship.
don't need those vibes, first
No.
of all.
Yeah.
Did you lose any friends in the process?
No,
or like
I think it
tension?
was more just like the people that really showed up for me, like really showed up.
Yeah.
And like I was just like, wow, like those are my true friends. And like I want to reciprocate when the time comes for
Yeah.
them. Like, because you can't really do it all. Like there's so many weddings throughout a year. Like you have to like pick and choose because it is expensive for everyone, especially if you have an abroad wedding. Like I
Yeah.
knew that
Right.
I need to let go of the expectation that everyone that I want there is going to be able to come, because it's likely that's not going to be the case because it's really expensive. Like, and
Yeah.
I knew that. So I had to like let go of that, you know,
Yeah.
idea that there might be people and friends that can't make it, and
Were
that's
there
fine.
people that you wanted there that couldn't come?
Yeah, there were a few people, like some people were pregnant and couldn't make it. Others, it was like more of a financial thing, which like I totally understand. But yeah, that's like give and take. If
Yeah.
you have a destination, like people are just not going to be able to come, and you have to just accept that.
Yeah.
But yes, I think friends that were very supportive, like just showed up in ways I didn't fully like expect them to. Like my best friend Mia, she would like just voice note me. Like we'd voice note each other every day because she lives on the East Coast, and she would just check in, and like to have someone to like vent to and just like listen
Yeah.
to for 5 minutes like during my lunch break at work was just like so nice, you know?
Yeah.
So
That's
little
really
things
Yeah.
go a long way.
The idea of the week that I thought of, because I've seen this actually, like when I went to the Bride Expo and another person who got married last week, they have like Budtenders for your wedding now. So you can hire someone to like roll a joint at your wedding. Like they have people that can like make cigars at your wedding. I know someone
That's
else
cool.
that just got married that did that. But this girl that I know that is one of Karen's friends, she literally passed out joints at her wedding with like their logo on
Oh my god.
like
I love
joint
that.
cans. And I was like, okay, are people like normalizing now that like weed is at weddings? Because I feel like it, even 10 years ago, people were like hiding in the back trying to like not be seen.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
cannot even imagine a bud tender at a damn wedding.
No.
Like that is crazy.
That's
No.
wild.
And they had it at the bridal expo that you could like hire them. And I was like, man, I would, but I don't want to
like
hear about
sponsored
it.
by High Girlies.
Yeah.
Yes, the High
I
Girlies logo.
think now that we have the podcast, I think my mom especially is more like, okay, like that's part of the brand.
Yeah.
But like if it was just something I wanted to do, my
She
mom would
would've
be
been
like,
like, huh?
are you fucking crazy?
Are you high, bitch? Like, are you high
Yeah.
right
She
now?
was like, that's not appropriate for other people to see. But like my mom, I don't know if I should say this, but she thinks it's hilarious that so many people had chocolate mushrooms at our wedding.
I feel like that's more of a thing now. Chocolate mushrooms.
Yes. 'cause
That I
at someone else's wedding that we went to where we met, there were a lot there
Yes.
too.
Oh.
Yeah, but it was great. It
Yeah,
was so fun.
one of my friends was like, I want to have like a chocolate mushroom bar at my wedding, and I was like, oh
Wow. Oh, okay.
yeah, I don't know if that
That's
will
amazing.
happen, but I think
Oh
it's
my
more of a
God.
thing.
Do you feel like there were people who were on a little something at your wedding?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Mexico. Like everyone was living their best life.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
Okay,
know-
so we support the weed at weddings.
The birthday party that we went to, the couple that got married in Italy, they
Oh my
were
gosh,
like,
yes.
we need someone to shepherd along.
Locked up abroad.
Yeah, it was great.
It is great. I fully support weed at weddings. I mean, I'm surprised that I did not smoke at your wedding. But because I was so
Wow.
full that I was like, this will literally, I will vomit. But I did feel like I didn't even see a lot of people smoking at your wedding.
Not outside in the courtyard? Really?
I
Oh,
saw
maybe they had to go
people
out
doing
there.
other things at your wedding.
Like the mushrooms?
And like sneaking off to the bathroom together.
Oh.
Okay, well, one thing I will say that I don't care because I think it's funny is that like my friend Diego, I think he's the only person that wore a tux to our wedding. He
went all out.
That's just like part of his culture too. I think is like he dresses very well. He's my friend's brother, and he came to our wedding, and I went to college with him. But he's from Nicaragua,
cool.
He's Latino, and he's wearing like a tux. And one older, very rich man in the bathroom looked at him when they were like washing their hands or something and was like, "Do you have any cocaine?"
He's like, "This guy's wearing a tux."
Diego was like, "This guy must think I'm Colombian or something, like some Colombian drug dealer." And Diego literally has never done any drugs in his entire life, and was just like, "No."
I was like, "Oh shit, I completely misread this situation."
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
but I don't think anyone did that. I didn't see or
I
hear
didn't
of it.
see it with
Yeah,
my
I
own
didn't
eyes.
I didn't hear or see
at
anyone
mine
do that.
either.
Yeah.
After witnessing what happened with your wedding and like all the stress that you experienced, I was like, this is pretty normal for like a wedding situation. But hearing your wedding, like doing a destination, it's like a completely different set of problems that I'm just like, it's just so much. I commend you both,
a lot.
truly.
I do think though, like more people are doing destination weddings, and that is kind of the move, especially if you both are from one area.
Yeah.
It's just like I think if you had gotten married in San Diego, there's no way you would have had 125 people at your wedding. You
Right.
probably would have had the wedding that I had.
Exactly. And we kind of wanted it smaller.
Yeah.
So it was kind of helpful in that sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm happy with what I got. There's a lot to like reminisce on and a lot of funny stories that we'll
You should write it all
talk
down.
about. I should write it all down.
You should write down the
Yeah.
details because I didn't do this and I should still do it. But
Oh.
the little things you forget.
Yeah.
So if there's like little funny things someone said or just moments that you loved, like write it down because
I love
it'll
that.
be nice to like look back. And
We
That's
should
a
both
hot
do
tip.
that tonight. Did you do that?
No.
You should.
Yeah, I feel like I remember. We still talk about random things.
Okay.
But yeah,
Well.
thanks so much for coming on, Becca.
thanks
Yeah,
for
thanks,
having
Becca.
me. This is so
And
fun.
Where can the people find you?
Okay, wait, I like changed my name, so I'm like, what is it? At Becca.Lass.Adler.
Oh.
LASS.
Okay, we added the dot Adler.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did.
And then the wedding invitations.
Oh, it's at bubble_letters.
double
If
underscore
anyone is
Bubble
getting
letters.
married and you want your invitations
Yeah,
to
reach
look
out.
bomb.
on Instagram and TikTok.
Just Instagram.
Just Instagram. But
For
you
now.
have a TikTok too.
I do have a TikTok.
Yeah.
At Becca.Lass, but there's nothing too crazy going on there right now.
Well, I want to see some like wedding invitation creation stuff.
Well, stay tuned.
Okay.
Yay.
Cool.
Thank you guys.
Bye,
Bye,
girlies.